The United States has an increasing dependence on petroleum for its energy needs. One of these solutions for the growing demand for petroleum is the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Dakota Access Pipeline is a 1,172-mile pipeline that carries North Dakota oil through South Dakota and Iowa to a distribution point in Illinois. While this pipeline allows for the distribution of oil, the decision to build it was not as simple as it seems. The pipeline was possibly built on sacred cultural features and ancient graves of Lakota Native Americans. Peoples making up the present-day Standing Rock Sioux tribe come primarily from around the Great Lakes and had to abandon woodland cultures in order to survive as they were pushed further west by white settlers. The Treaty of Fort Laramie in 1868 established the Great Sioux Reservation. In the Act of March 2, 1889, Congress divided the Great Sioux Reservation into 6 separate reservations. The only boundaries still in place today are those of the Standing Rock Territory. The Dakota Access Pipeline does not enter Standing Rock Sioux territory. The disputed area is where the pipeline crosses the Lake O 500 feet outside the boundaries of Standing Rock. In that same location, a dual pipeline has existed underground since 1982 and are much closer to the surface than the Dakota Access Pipeline. However, Lake O is the main water source for the Sioux, and Lakota natives have had their water poisoned by resource extraction before. The Pine Ridge Reservation, close to Standing Rock, experienced uranium contamination of their main waterways and now must pump water from the Missouri River. Protesters from Standing Rock worry that a similar situation will occur if the Dakota Access Pipeline leaks near Lake O.
It's not if it will break, it's a matter of when it will break and where it's going to break. And if it breaks under this river, it puts us at risk.
I would counter that the pipeline safety record in this country for crude oil pipelines is incredibly strong.
In late 2016, the pipeline was around 75% completed, but further construction was paused on multiple dates by President Obama in order to look into the controversial area near Standing Rock and possible rerouting.
My view is that there is a way for us to accommodate sacred lands of Native Americans. And I think that right now the Army Corps is examining whether there are ways to reroute this pipeline.
On September 2nd, archaeologist Tim Mentz Sr. and a team of Native lawyers presented evidence that 82 cultural features and 27 graves exist in extremely close proximity to the Dakota Access Pipeline corridor. Mentz reported that he had been prevented from surveying the 150-foot area that the pipeline was to be built on because that site was privately owned. The next day, before a court ruling was passed, the company funding the Dakota Access Pipeline started construction on the corridor, effectively destroying the possibility of discovering if sacred Native American sites existed there.
This is with respect to the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Once President Trump was inaugurated that January, he quickly expedited these plans for the Dakota Access Pipeline that had been previously blocked.
I'm pleased to announce that the Dakota Access Pipeline, which I just mentioned, is now officially open for business, a $3.8 billion investment in American infrastructure that was stalled, and nobody thought any politician would have the guts to approve that final leg. And I just closed my eyes and said, do it.
Many culturally educated individuals rallied together to prevent the implementation of the pipeline. Protesters flooded the construction grounds as well as the surrounding area. The media took advantage of this and began interviewing people to gain information on this new controversy. There were two opposing views. The more industrial opinion is that the pipeline is necessary in extracting petroleum for its increasing demands. The ethical approach claims that the implementation of the pipeline disrespects not only the Lakota natives' culture, but also disturbs their sacred, holy North Dakota land.
Archaeologists, they don't see these. The archaeology firm that came through here walked over these. They do not have a connection that we have to our spiritual walk of life in relation to how our society members and leadership came to these types of areas to give those types of commitments or pledges. Today we're looking at an area that has totally destroyed one part of our society's walk of life where pledges were made.
This evokes some questions. Is it moral to build the pipeline without regard for Native American religious rights? Is it moral to distort the surrounding environment? The government has been one of the main factors in success for the Dakota Access Pipeline. Governor Don Burgum of North Dakota stated that he supported the pipeline to bring jobs to North Dakota, and the fact he found it as the safest, most efficient way of transporting oil in the United States.
I support the legal completion of this pipeline. Make no mistake, this infrastructure is good for our economy, and it's the safest way to transport North Dakota products. Failure to finish it would send a chilling signal to those in any industry who wish to invest in our state and play by the rules. I also deeply care about clean water. We have over 1,000 pipeline water body crossings in North Dakota today, and we need to ensure that each of those crossings preserves and protects our environment.
Many agreed with Governor Burgum and felt that the pipeline would be beneficial for the country as a whole, while others disagreed with the government's majority opinion, protesting that the implementation disrespects Native American sovereignty. Either way, policies allow the Dakota Access Pipeline to be completed in its construction, yet the controversy remains unresolved to this day.